Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. My name is Greg, and I am a Army veteran of 16 years. Therefore, I'm a disabled vet. I'm not retired, but I'm a disabled vet. I'll get more to that in more YouTube videos and kind of break down the costs. Currently, I'm just living off my disability, and it's allowing me to have uh, live a quality of life. Okay. In more videos, I kind of tell you who I am just over the course of videos, but just kind of give you a breakdown. Um, the military was my passport. I had my first duty station was Germany. I spent 2 years there. While I was in Germany, I got a chance to go to Spain and Paris. I probably should have visited more countries, but it was one of the reasons why I joined the military years back. From there, I got stationed in the United States, and then from there, I spent 2 tours in Iraq, uh, which I always tell people that's a vacation, but 2 tours in Iraq. And then from there, I got out of the military and I came back in. I spent 1 year out of the military and I re-entered the military. So I did 4 years, got out for a year, and then came back in, did 12 more years. So total was 16 years. When I re-entered the Army, I got a chance to go to Korea. I was also an Army recruiter, and which means I put souls in the military. And I got a chance to go back to Korea. And so that was an experience for me. Um, Currently, right now, I'm in Thailand. One of the biggest reasons why I came here is to be at peace. My brother currently is in Thailand. He was here first. I am a member of the Passport Bros and various travel groups. And just what I want to share my story. On why I've been here. Um, Key points here. I wrote down some key points. Remember, like I said, the military was my passport. One of the things I like about nowadays and being in one of the group's passport bros or anything, I like the fact that I can talk to young uh, women and men, and just I used to tell people you should do 4 years in the military, travel the world, but I add to that now. I always say people, hey, get your passport, no matter if you're young or old. My age, I'm 42 years old, and like I said, this is my first time having a passport. I say travel the world, young, now, doesn't matter. Whether you're single, with a family, it does not matter. Because I think in the United States, we have a saying where, you work for 20 to 30 years, you put money in 401k, or you have a pension, which is what they did away with. Then, that's fine and all. But I say, travel while you can. You start out life in the United States, go to Mexico or South America, start out with that, see other cultures. I always tell people that uh, men and women are different when it comes to this aspect, right? Where I say men, when we travel, we look, we kind of think about our wallets, right? Women, when they travel, it's more like they try to get to the spa, nice resort. I'm not saying all women are the same or all men are the same, but I just think it's different. So, one of the things I encourage people, whether you're male or female, is wherever you're going to, try to do a little bit of research about the place you're going to first. That helps. Also, understand that you're in a different country. We have a melting pot of so many cultures in the United States where we kind of get used to, hey, learn what we do, right? But when you're in another country, you want to learn what they do. And I think for a lot of us that are military or prior military, we kind of was already trained this. I mean, my brother has been in the military. He did 4 years in military police, and I call them pigs. I'm just being funny. But this is his first time outside the country. And but see, when he came, he was already prepared because you got to think, we grew up military. We were military brats when we grew up, right? He joined the military, and then he was a DA police, and so he already had that kind of mindset. So for a lot of us in prior military, you've got some people that may have been stationed in the states and never got a chance to be stationed overseas, but we kind of have that mindset that when we go somewhere, we kind of want to try to be the best ambassadors. And for me, I would encourage people from all over the world, be it United States, UK, it doesn't matter, Africa, uh, just try to be the best ambassador that you can be from whatever country that you come from. Because remember, you're representing a couple of things. You're representing the country you come from. I think the most important thing you want to represent your name, your last name, your first name and your last name, because that's what it's all about. Um, you don't want to go off a rant for that, but part of the reason what brought me here is kind of like peace. I just want to kind of get at peace and just kind of get to myself. I think one of the things that some of us don't look at when we're in the United States is everything. You want to be physically fit, mentally fit, and spiritually fit. I think those are important, and you can tie that any way you want to, any way you want to. But I think prior to coming here, one of the things that helped me is, first of all, I don't drink anymore. I used to drink. I was real heavy in alcohol. I had stopped that a year ago. I used to smoke cigarettes. I don't do that anymore. And I, partake in some other, you know, smoking, but don't do that anymore. And I got to tell you, that helped, and that helped prior to coming here. So I'm not telling anybody to quit or anything like that, or do whatever you want. But I think one of the things that helped me was quitting that prior to even thinking about coming out here. That helped. So because of that is why I got on a workout journey. I had some health issues prior to me coming, which I was going in and out of the emergency room. I found out I had to take multiple medications. Like I have to take GERD medication now. I have to take medication for my cholesterol, blood pressure medication, and then I have to take aspirin because there was at one point I thought I was at risk of a heart attack. I had to go to the emergency room, and when I found out that I had to take all these medications, I said to myself, I said, you know what, I have to make a significant change. And finally, a doctor had told me, so listen, you got to get that weight down, all right? And so that's what I did. So what I did initially was I worked out at the gym before I came, and but I was working out not to. It wasn't so much to work out to lose weight. I think I was more so working out to get my blood pressure down, if you understand. Because a lot of us that people that go to the gym a lot, even in the military, we a lot of times we work out to do a physical fitness test, so that we'll have to struggle doing it, right? But for a lot of us that are military, that are not military, United States, it's just the obesity rate is at an all time high, and I recognize that. So about myself, so like I said, I started cutting out things in my life, and like I said, drinking was the biggest thing. And I'm not saying to stop drinking or anything like that, but I'm just telling you that's what helped me. So the routines that I started out with is I started going for a walk. I went for a walk for an hour every morning. I would circle the block every time I would pass the house. I would do push-ups and sit-ups, and that helped. And on those walks, I would either talk to my brother or some of my best friends, or I'll put on some music or listen to some type of inspiration. That helped, right? Um, when I did that, what I found was I said, okay, well, let's get back into this gym, right? A lot of times when I was getting to the gym, a lot of times I was kind of like all over the place, but I started to focus on certain body types of my own body. I was always told I had skinny legs. I heard it all. Hey, SpongeBob, Sergeant SpongeBob, or Despicable Me. So now I'm making more of an emphasis on to work on legs. So I tell you, to kind of give you an idea, I got here in March of this year, 2025. Got here March 4th. Booked a one-way ticket. My brother was already here. He said, bro, just get here. That's all you got to do. I said, all right. And I got here, and I got to tell you, the next day I was in the gym because that was my goal, right? Everybody comes. I believe that people are on different paths in life, right? Your path may not be their path, right? Some people will say, will try to tell you, well, you need to work out, you need to do this. I'm not here to say that. I'm just telling you what my journey is. Everybody's journey is the same. Just like my brother, his journey is different from mine, right? But I'll say this, because I had a kind of a workout mentality, and I was already doing that in the United States, it helped while I was here. I found a gym membership that's basically walking distance. It's a 5-minute walk from where I live at. And the videos to come, I'll kind of show you like just what a typical day is like for me. But because of that, so from March, April, May, I got here. I was 300 pounds in March 5th, right? Prior to that, I was about 315. So I had already lost about 15 pounds before I came. But I did it kind of like at my pace. I wasn't in a rush, I've already lost that. But it took me like basically a whole year to lose that, right? Because, let's face it, man, you got all types of traps and, you got McDonald's and Church's Chicken you pass. You got to have discipline. And then, they say that, it costs more to lose weight in the States than it does eat healthy. And that's true. But I would always also tell people if you cut out certain things in your life, it kind of weighs the same, like, drinking or smoking, because those habits were very expensive. And I didn't have those habits. Those habits owned me. I mean, I was a Newport smoker. Everybody knows I was a chain smoker, but I don't do it anymore. But anyways, getting back to here in Thailand, what I started to do, like when I got here, like I said, I started working out, and then you know what I realized about myself. You know, when I would go to the gym, I work out. You know, I work out chest, tries, back. I thought I knew a lot about working out, but I really didn't. And I'm really fortunate because there's a guy here I met through my brother. He's half Thai and half Vietnamese. He's from the States. He was a cop from Philly. He kind of showed me some workout techniques. And one of the gym that I go to, there's a bodybuilder there that he's got trophies. This a Thai guy, and you know, even we never say anything to each other, but I think once he saw the guy that's here from the States work out with me, now he says things to me, and he actually trains bodybuilders, and so now he train. You know, I'm not saying he's training me, but I really didn't know nothing about lifting weights. I didn't. I thought I did, but so now when I work out with a goal in mindset, right? I said, today I'm going to do back. Today I'm going to do legs. Today I'm going to do this. And every other morning now, I run every other morning. I mean, hell, that's what we did when we was in the military. Ran every other morning. And then the other mornings we'll do push-ups and sit-ups or some type of calisthenics. So I'm getting into that. So let's bring it back. I got here March 4th. I was in the gym March 5th, right? At first I wasn't running. I was still kind of walking. I messed around here, got 300 pounds, and I'm down to 275. So from March, April, May, June, we're in June. I weighed myself at the beginning of May. I lost 25 pounds. So in kilos, for those of us, you know, because the United States, we were different. In kilos, that means I weighed 135 kilos, right? And I went down to 125 kilos. That's 10 kilos. That is a significant drop. And I got to tell you, most people will say, well, Greg, what did you do to lose that weight? Well, I'll tell you what I did. Nothing. I just made what I had already was cutting out the oily foods in the States. And here in Thailand, Thai people don't really eat a lot of oily foods like we do in the United States, right? A lot of healthy foods, you know, the way that it's set up in this culture here, you know, you eat out a lot, but you're eating healthy foods and you're walking a lot, right? And also from that, you know, I got an electric eye here, which I'll show you in the videos ago. You know, I cook some of my own food. And I had already had that type of discipline coming here. I was already training my mind for that. So I was preparing for that prior to coming here. Because like I said, I was stationed in Korea twice. And I kind of saw how that culture is, you know what I mean? So coming here and looking at that, right? Looking at my journey, losing that, and I got more to go. But I got to tell you, just losing weight like that, a significant bump. And like I said, I was watching what I was eating. And the thing of it is this country is set up to where there's plenty of food and it's cheaper because the dollar goes further. Really?
Yeah, keep going.
Oh, like, the dollar goes further. All right.
You can cut this out too.
Yeah.
Because what's going to end up happening, because you're going to have to title this whatever you're going to title it, because there's a lot that's being said right now, right?
Okay.
So you know that there's points that you need to hit, but you also are like OPSEC is one, right? Make sure that, you know, me, Danny, whatever we got going on. You don't have to put all that, you know, military, police, all that stuff out there. Right. People to be honest, you know what I'm saying? The other thing, make sure like when you hit the points, because you can go off on a tangent,
right?
And that's fine if you want to shoot it like a vlog style, or you want to have your thoughts. I would keep it going like that, right? But what's going to happen is, because there's a lot that you said that people are going to want elaboration on.
Gotcha.
Where you only was able to hit a little bit.
Well, let me finish this, and I'm gonna get back with you.
Yeah, keep going.
All right, so that was my brother there. I'm gonna probably cut it out, but just to get back to what I was talking about, I'm gonna, in the videos to come, I'll break some stuff down, because like I said, you're looking at a 42-year-old man, and I'm just gonna give my perspectives. Like I said, I've been all over the world. I've been out of the Army, came back into the Army. Now this is my first time. While I was here, I've been to Cambodia already. I had to do what's called a border hop, and I'll explain to what that is. And I'm going to give a couple shout outs to the people that's here in Thailand. First of all, shout out to Zoom to Thailand. Okay. We're talking about a positive brother, you know, that's I think he has shaped, you know, he was one of the biggest motivators when I came here. Shout out to Isaiah Ashley, that young brother. He has encouraged a lot of people in Thailand. You know, he showed us, high rises, you know, how you can live, that helped. I also say shout out to all the YouTubers, the podcasts, not just Thailand, Austin Holloman, that's another one. I like that kid too. Austin Holloman, currently I think he's in Africa right now, and he's explaining his bid. I love that young brother because what it is the reason why I'm call out these three particular guys. Zuna Thailand might be, I think he's a little older than I am. He gives a perspective. I think he gives like maybe a grown man uncle type perspective, right? Whereas you look at Isaiah Ashley, you look at Austin Holloman, right? We're talking about two guys. I don't think either of them serve. I think Isaiah Ashley, he had a pressure washer business, if I'm not mistaken. And then Austin Holloman, he's a barber by trade, so he has high inclines. So let me tell you what I like about those two guys, right? First of all, they didn't have to join the military, which is not a bad thing. Don't get me wrong. I was an Army recruiter. They did not have to join the military to show receipts about them traveling the world. Okay. I think joining the military is great. I would encourage you, if you still want to join the military, then that's great. And in fact, if my father would have told me, who also was military, because I grew up military, right? If it said, son, I know you want to travel, you want to go into the Army. How about, get a passport, go travel the world, go see a country. And if you decide you want to, join the military, then do that. Because the military can do so much wonderful things it can open up so many opportunities. But I'm not here talking about that. What I'm saying is, I'm glad that no longer do you have to reduce it down to that to join the military, to travel the world. First of all, a passport only costs you, American passport only costs you $180. You know what I mean? You get it, sent to you in 6 weeks. So I'm constantly, calling back friends and family. Hey, do you have a passport? Do you have a passport? And then what seems to be the thing is I see a lot of friends and family that, they'll go to the Bahamas or anywhere in the Caribbean. And that's fine. In a lot of those countries, you don't even need a passport to even go to those countries. But I tell you, a passport, having an American passport, a passport anywhere from any country, that right there, what it does is it's a ticket to discover the world. I mean, I was just in Cambodia and I saw the killing fields and the genocide and the killing fields. I was only there for a day and a half, and I made sure that I went to go see that. And I'll share with you a couple of photos that I've taken and some videos because it was pretty sad. We're talking about something that happened, a genocide that happened 50 years ago. I mean, I was born in 82. That happened from 75 to 79. Years prior to that, 40 years prior to that, you had the Holocaust, right? So that to me, with traveling, it hits me even more now when I can see things like that. I still want to go to South America. I mean, remember, the slave ships didn't come just to, United States. They came all over the Caribbean, Brazil, Central America. History intrigues me. And so, and I'll talk about that in the videos to come from there. But didn't want to go off a tangent there because I'll probably be cutting this video. But like I said, I've been all over the world from the military. Like I said, just to recap. But this is my first time, being outside the country myself. And like I said, health it played a big part. And I'm still doing my part. So I kind of hold myself to it. Like this morning, I went for a little run and did my push-ups and sit-ups. As you see, I got my little mat back there. Did my push-ups and sit-ups right there. Took a shower and, I'm just here reflecting. Okay. All right. So let's talk about that. All right, let me talk about what the rent and the housing is like. This is what I like about Isaiah Ashley's show. He breaks down the cost of what rent is like, how much you could be spending, what the expenses is like, and I think he does a wonderful job in doing that. And, a lot of people that I've interviewed, he was a big part why they came. Same thing with Zuna Thailand, and I would say the same thing with Austin Holloman. I'm just calling a few people that I think do a phenomenal job of being ambassadors and actually showing us, hey, this is how you can live from the United States or anywhere from the world. This is where your dollar or whatever money you have can go further. Let me tell you what the rent is like here. So on average, I've been here since March. I moved in my apartment, my condo. This is a 1-bedroom condo. I'll show it to you. Right now, I'm sitting at my table right now, so I got a little setup. But I only pay on average $330 to $340. I've had 2 bills since I've been here. That includes light, water, and the actual room itself. Now, to elaborate, right? I know some high rises. I'm not in a high rise. I'm in a building that's like 7 floors. I'm on the 6th floor. Was I here during the earthquake? Yes, I was. I was actually in a hotel at the time. That's right around the corner. And I was on the 9th floor. As a matter of fact, I didn't even know it was an earthquake until it was happening. This is what happened. I came in a room, right? And I think I had just came from getting a smoothie or something like that. So I sat down, right? I was like, man, I feel dizzy, right? Then I got up. I went next to my door. I said, let me just stand up. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. Then it's still happening. Then before you know it, I go in the hallway and I said, oh man, it's an earthquake. So what do? I do what you're not supposed to do, right? Whenever it's an earthquake, I guess you're supposed to go, fire escape. No, not me. Yeah, I went down the elevator, right? Then nothing happened because the building is such a big building, a big structure. I think it's older, where you didn't like it didn't shake like how you see on some of these videos, like the high rises. But I think because it was only 9 floors, I mean, it shook enough. And then that's when I realized, oh man, this is an earthquake, right? My brother at the time, he was coming from he was on the way back from Pattaya Beach, so he was the first one I called, and nothing really happened. He said he was on the road when it happened, but that's pretty scary. And I got to tell you, a lot of expats from all over the world, they went back to their respective countries, and I don't blame them. But world disasters, natural disasters, man, there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, they didn't have an earthquake in a long time, and first of all, the earthquake happened from Miramar. We got the aftershock, so people that say that was in a high rise, I think Isaiah actually had spoken this. He said that was scary, and it is, Prior to coming here, I was in, I'm coming from Augusta, Georgia, where we experienced a hurricane that basically came from Florida and pushed up through Georgia all the way up to North Carolina. And we only got the west of the eye. So when I got here, my brother's like, man, bad weather follows you. So, that's kind of what brought me here. Like I said, the rent is significantly low. And like I said, and I'm right now I'm just living on my disabled, check right now. Now I applied for a job to go work overseas back in July, and then I think when the president did the hiring freeze, they had just contacted me on my background. They said it was a backlog, and that's fine. But right now, as a vet that's living off what I'm living off of, you know what I mean? I'm living comfortably. Okay. I really don't have no big major bills back in the States. As a matter of fact, if you're a vet and you've got significant debt, you can come over here and pay some debt down. You know what I mean? Which is what I'm currently doing. I'll break down, in the videos to come, how much the light is, light bill. Matter of fact, I'll do it right now. As a matter of fact, I got it right here. Let's do this. All right, YouTube. Yes, so I've got 2 bills here. It's in Thai, right? But I'll break it down. So, okay, so my first bill, let's do a little breakdown of the money. That's 4,500 baht was the room rate. And see, some of these places, they'll actually have you renting furniture. Like if I could have got this place and put my own furniture here, but look, it come fully furnished. It came with a TV, got a little couch. I couldn't ask for more. They actually installed another AC unit because it's a split room kind of like, so it kind of splits from the living room. But water bill was like what, $6.41 American? Come on now. Light bill was $100. Now in Thai, that may seem like a lot, right? But come on, look, call me a spoiled American. I don't know. Look, I don't like to be hot. Look, I done been in the desert twice. You know what I mean? I was stationed in Korea twice. I'm from Texas, live in Georgia. Come on, man. We don't like to be hot, right? So I keep the bad one all day. The bill was $100. So in total, my first month bill, the April bill was $331, right? The next month it only went up $10. That means it went up $5 on my water and $5 on my light bill. Come on now. Most places in the United States, you're paying $330, $340 for the light bill. You know what I'm saying? So, and I paid that total for 1 bedroom. Now listen, I'm basing this off of just me. Okay. Now I'm gonna show some video. I can show some videos, and like I said, that's what I like about Isaiah actually shows. He gives like different perspectives, to show families, and I think he showed us there was a couple from Tampa. I think he was a disabled vet, and she's a school teacher. So I like their point of view. But there's a lot of point of views from here in Thailand, like I said. So that's how much it is. And I'll elaborate on that. Okay. The food here, awesome. Okay. The food here, Thais eat a lot of rice and egg for protein. I didn't understand it at first, but I like it. You know what I mean? A lot of noodles. Very, 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 very healthy. Okay. First of all, we all know when you're walking everywhere, the weight's just gonna come off. I learned that when I was in Korea twice. But here, you can rent a scooter. And Thailand kind of has like British influence, so the wheel is on the right side of the car, but the scooters, I'm not gonna lie, they drive. It's the traffic system here is it's a little it's kind of like Texas. Remind me of Texas a little bit. I think if it's one of those things. If you grew up here, or it takes some getting used to. But I don't need a scooter right now, right? I like the fact that I can walk everywhere, or I can take a cab, or You know, I could take what's called a boat, which is their version of Uber, but they call it boat, B-O-L-T. I mean, I could take a boat, a B-O-A-T, a boat to the mall. I've taken a boat from a place one time, and the boat was going so fast, it kind of turned. I said, oh, man, this thing sank. I mean, I could swim, but golly, man, I'm going to slow that boat down, something, right? But, hey, it's okay. Thailand, it provides that, okay? Now, let me tell you about the Thai people. Let me tell you something. First of all, beautiful culture, okay? They have a way of calming you down. You know, look, I'm a black man from the United States, okay? Matter of fact, let me not say that I am an American from the United States, right? And, you know, I'm coming from the military. I grew up military. You know, we got a way about ourselves. We just got to be loud. We loud, right? You ain't got to be like, you don't have to be like that here, right? And I'm not saying all of us are like that. What I'm saying is, it's like they have a way to calm you down. I kind of give you an idea. Let me tell you what happened, right? So when I got here, right, I only packed one luggage and two carry-ons. Right? I had my computer bag and I had my backpack, right? When I got here, right, luggage didn't even make it. It was back in India, right? My luggage was back in India. So when I get to the lost and found, right, you know, first of all, there's some beautiful women there, right? But that's not the context of what I'm talking about. What I'm saying is, you know, they say Swati Ka, you know, because when you say Swati Ka, that's saying hello to a woman. If you say Swati Krap, you know, like that's saying hello to a man. So they said Swati Krap, the tone of their voice was so calm, and they were so beautiful that I don't think I was really mad about my luggage being lost, right? And so what they told me was I had already knew the hotel that I was going to, because it was the hotel that my brother stayed at first. So I already had all that information. That's like, look, give us the hotel information. When you get to the hotel, call us, have the hotel contact us, and you know, we'll send the luggage out to you. So that's what I did. So when I got into the hotel, I called the hotel. And I had the whole hotel, you know, talk to them. You know, they talked in Thai, and my luggage was there the next day. And in fact, they have wrapped my luggage in like a big old plastic, like there was nothing taken or anything. And which that's another thing I'll tell you about. You know, nobody steals here in Thailand. You can order stuff, leave it, and that's just not how it is. And in fact, my brother had messed around, misplaced his wallet, and it was gone for like a couple of days. And he found it with a place that he had to backtrack, and they had it waiting on him, and nothing was taken or anything like that. So I'll get into that in the future videos. Basically, what this video is right here, just, you know, kind of introducing myself and just kind of letting you know my perspective. I know people are gonna have plenty of questions, you know, are you married or anything like that, but you know, I'm just telling you my perspective from a 42-year-old man that's been here. I've been here since March. You know, we're in June. We're going in July. My birthday's in July, and just letting you know that this is probably the calmest I've ever been in my military career. I'm sorry, not military career, in my life. And I got to tell you, man, to be at peace, I would, if you're seeking peace, coming from all over the world, I don't care where you're coming from. You can come from Australia, you can be coming from the Middle East or UK or anything, anywhere. If you're seeking peace, this is a great start. This is a great start. Okay. I don't care if you're a male, female, woman, man. I don't care. This is a good start, and I would highly encourage people to come here. Like I said, this is just to introduce myself video, just to let you know where I'm coming from. I don't want to drag it out. I know YouTube. I know a lot of people look at shorts and things like that, but I'm just kind of give you my perspective of where I'm coming from, and think and just break it down some of the things that I know. I've got a Facebook. I'll get into that. I'll talk about Facebook in later videos. I don't have Twitter yet, so I guess I got to get Twitter. But look, tell me what you think. If you have any questions, you know, I can answer some questions. I'm just going to give you my perspective. Like I said, once again, before I get off here, I want to give a shout out to, like I said, Zoom to Thailand, Isaiah Ashley, which he has a phenomenal show, and Austin Holloman. Like I said, those three guys alone, right? We're talking about 3 different age groups, right? They gave me perspective, and plus my brother was here. That's one of the things that encouraged me to be here. And I'm gonna hit on this also, right? It seems like when we look at Thailand, we also talk. It's always about, you know, single man, single woman. Look, there's families that's moving here. Okay, so I tell you, if you put your kids through school and they've graduated or anything like that, and like I got a buddy now, he's in Texas, and his third daughter just graduated high school. I said, man, look, won't you and your wife come here for 30 days? You know what I mean? Get a break. You know, you put your house for rent. You know what I mean? Or you can Airbnb your house out, because that's what I'm seeing the couples are doing. That one couple, I think that's what they did. They put their house up for rent or Airbnb, so that rent takes care of the mortgage, right? Uh, Come over here and just kind of get perspective. I can, I mean, look, I got a 2 hour massage, legit massage, not that other massage, but a legit massage. Look, for $20. Come on now, $20. How much are you paying for that in the countries that you're in? I mean, I talked to a guy. I was at a pool hall one night, and I was drinking my non-alcoholic Heineken, right? And this guy, he was actually from Dubai. He's actually from Dubai, but his dad is from California. I think he was a diplomat or something. I can't remember. And he was just talking about how much it is for a massage in Dubai, and we just kind of comparing. He normally he's in and out of Thailand. He's got a buddy that's I think a Muay Thai fighter, which is big here, and he comes and supports. But he was talking about we were just comparing the prices. Okay, everything here is so relatively cheap, depending on what country you're coming from. Okay, because that's where the dollar goes further. The dollar goes further. I think the euro goes further. We all know the British pound goes further. But I tell you, I just encourage anybody if you're looking to seek peace, especially if it's for health reasons. Like for me, when it starts getting into health reasons, you know what I mean. This is a great start. Okay, great start. All right, and I would encourage any and everybody from all over the world to come here and start. And remember, when you come here, try to be a good ambassador from where you come from. Okay, don't come here with the shenanigans because the Thai people are not about that. Okay, they're about peace and tranquility. And I gotta be honest with you, like I said, the airport, like I said, misplaced luggage, and I wasn't even mad, because it's the tone. Both men and women, the tone is very welcoming here. They share, like I said, and this is a good start. Like I said, I'd already been to Cambodia. Went there for a couple of days. I got to see a genocide. Most people, when we go on trips, I think one of the biggest things, what I realized in my life, every time I took a trip, alcohol was the biggest thing. Oh, what we're gonna drink or something like that. And I'm realizing now as I get older in my life, even at 42, that they ain't it for me. You know what I mean? This second half of my life, I want to make it count. Right? There's things that I've did. I've got some regrets in my life that I did, but I don't let it define me. If anything, I let it redefine me. And I would encourage you to do the same. If you've got regrets that you've had in your life, don't let it define you. Let it redefine you. And the only way to do that is if you come here, this could be a good start for it to redefine you. Like I said, I got here at 300 pounds and I lost 25 pounds in the course of 2 months and wasn't even trying. I just stayed the course. I can go to the gym every day. You know what I'm saying? I have this, that, and third. But that's it for now for the videos today. Tell me what you like if you want to like and subscribe. Like I said, and the name of my show, it's called Word on the Street from a Veteran. Okay? Word on the Street from a Veteran. I'm just keeping it simple. All right, I could be talking about Thailand, or I can just talk about basically what veterans go through, or talk to civilians. It doesn't matter. I'm a civilian now, but that's the name of my show because I am a veteran and I come from a military background. But I'm just giving you perspective as a man, just from the United States, or just giving my perspective on how Thailand is right now. And so I'll just leave it with that. But like I said, name's Greg, and you guys have any questions or anything like that, I'll respond to the best I can. And the thing about comments is, look, I like we have a saying in the military, right? Anytime you do some type of training, right? After the training, like for example, if you gave a field exercise, like in the military, army, you go to the field, right? Or if you get let's say you train on, I'll keep it simple. Let's say you did some type of training on how to properly do your preventive maintenance checks on a Humvee, right? The oil change, or checking the wheel, right? So after that, right, the trainer will ask the group, hey, give me 3 things that you liked about the training, right? And 3 things that I can improve on in the training, right? So people will say, well, I think you did a good job teaching this. You did a good job doing the oil. The improvements, I'm all about improvements, right? Because some people just say, give me 3 ups and 3 downs. No, improvements, which means I like criticism, okay? Tell me what I can do better for the next video, because it's only going to make me better, right? So, tell me what you like, and then tell me what you didn't like, all right? I'm all about constructive criticism. Look, I'm a grown man, all right? And I do 2 tours in Iraq. I know there's plenty of veterans here probably did more tours than me, but it ain't even about that. Let's take that out of it. I'm a grown man, okay? I'm a grown adult. Let me say that, okay? So just give me things that I can improve on. If I'm long-winded, if I didn't explain something the way that you needed to be explained, that's only going to make me better. Okay, so I'm gonna be better. It's gonna make me better for the next video because maybe something I didn't hit on. Maybe I just went off a tangent. It's gonna make me better for the next video. Okay, so just let me know what you think. All right, like I said, today I'm happy that God woke me up, and I'm happy that I got a chance to run this morning. And then what I'm more excited about is I get an opportunity to go to the gym again tonight. Last night I hit let's see, I did back. No, I didn't do back yesterday. What did I do last night? I think I did chest. Did I do chest? No. I did buys. Tonight, like I said, I got to work legs. Like I said, they call me Despicable Me, SpongeBob. I gotta break out of there. All right. So, like I said, I'll leave you with that, and I'll end this video. And like I said, if you have any questions or anything like that, just tell me what you like about the video, what you didn't like, what I can improve on, and we'll go from there. All right. Out. Word on the street. This is word on the street from a veteran. Out.